afternoon, folks. Hope you didn't just see what Dave did, but if you did, what the hell? Anyway, this is the Factivist
We got
Report.
to get their attention, Deb.
This is the Factivist Report for Sunday. It's Sunday, right? Yeah. June 2nd. June already. Go figure. Look how close November is, and that's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about purging the GOP from both chambers of our government. And this is top priority. The blue tsunami must be a landslide.
Now, one thing I want to tell all of you is that these races, we're still in the primaries. So I do not want to hear anyone say, well, I didn't get a choice of who my Democratic candidate is. Yeah, you are getting choices. I personally think that there are candidates who happen to be better than others, but that's up to you to check this information, to check out the candidates in your local area and vote for them in the primary.
By the way, voting in the primaries is just as important as voting in the general. Look, we have to develop really good voting habits if we're going to stay out of this mess again. I'm serious. And we'll talk about this as we go forward during this video.
The primaries are coming up. It's like June the 18th and June the 25th are the two dates that I keep saying, just so you know. So last week we talked about the Orange Jackaloon and the people who are supporting him, blah, blah, blah. They're out in the courthouse instead of doing their job. They're standing in front of the courthouse wearing their blue suits and red ties, blah, blah, blah. I covered some of these people in terms of who's running against them. Now I'm going to do part two of this. And it boils down to 3 states that I'm going to do some strategy talking. There is Colorado, which we have a real opportunity to really turn this around in Colorado. We have Florida and we have Georgia. And I'm going to talk a little bit, kind of the overall climate and some things that I noticed, as well as talking about some of the core Freedom Caucus / MAGA guys like Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert, all your typical MAGA heads.
Losers.
So
Losers.
yeah. So
Skanks.
if you if you remember last week, we talked about these people. I covered Andy Biggs, Mike. Actually, I didn't cover Mike Waltz, and I didn't cover him in here, but I will in deeper. But Eli Crane, Andy Ogles, Ralph Norman, Bob Good. Now we're going to talk about Florida. We're going to talk about Georgia, and we're going to talk about Colorado. But first off, I want people to get this in their heads. There are no anti-Trump Republicans. There is no anti-Trump wing of the Republican Party.
It's over. It's over.
Larry Hogan says he's running on an anti-Trump ticket, but then turns around and he's running for governor of Maryland on the Republican ticket.
Oh, he's running for senator.
Oh, I'm sorry, for senator. I'm sorry. He was governor in Maryland. Okay. So he's running for senator now. Apologies. He said he's running on the anti-Trump ticket, but he's anti-Trump platform, but he's going to vote for him.
How does that work?
Nikki Haley is going to vote for Trump.
Nikki Haley was never going to vote for Donald Trump again. She's voting for Donald Trump. Look, there are right now in just the House of Representatives 171 election deniers. And that means there are 171 people who will not commit to certify in the 2024 election if Joe Biden wins. Do we understand that? So how do we remove that threat? We remove that threat by voting them out in a landslide because they're all up. They're all up for re-election. And we can vote them in, we can vote them out in numbers too big for them to rig. That's what we have to start thinking about.
So you may be saying, but Dave, what's your evidence that the Republican Party is all Trump? This is the Republican National Committee's website that I went on to. Okay, this is incredible. It really is. This is what they came up with.
This is honestly unheard of in American history, that a website would look like this. This is so amazing to me. I almost couldn't believe what I was looking at. I thought it was some other website.
I really did too. But it's supported by WinRed, you know, and you can go down and you can look at this stuff if you want. But I'm like, really? It's incredible. And basically all it does is we're never surrendering. He's a political prisoner. He's subject of a witch hunt. This is the Republican Party right now. Total fealty to a convicted felon, by the way. We have to start saying that over and over and over again.
Are you putting that up?
What? What happened? It didn't share? Hold on. Name of Jesus. What happened? All right, what the hell? Oh God. Hold on, Deb. There we go. There. Okay.
You have to look at this because this isn't normal. Okay. Can I just say this? This is not normal. Okay.
President Trump, I will never surrender. A rigged court just convicted me.
There was no rigged court. It was a grand jury that heard evidence, handed down an indictment. He got a fair trial, a speedy fair trial, and he was convicted on evidence. This is incredible that the Republican National Committee, which is supposed to support all Republicans up and down the ballot, is just a resting point now for Mr. Grumpy, Mr. Whiny, Mr. Snivelly, and Mr. fucking orange felon. Okay? He's a felon. You have a felon running for president.
Some of this is typical. Interested in volunteering, click here to sign up. Yeah. Okay, fine. Don't forget to visit the official Trump store by clicking here. Oh, Deb. Let's go to the Trump store. Why not? This is the official merchandise. Okay.
His mugshot on a mug. His mugshot. Proud of that? I'm sure that I'm not going to say it. No.
But I'm just saying that this isn't normal.
No, this isn't. This is beyond sick and twisted.
Gun owners for Trump.
Great.
Yeah.
Let's see how many kids.
This is the Republican Party now. The Republican Party is Trump. And while you have Republicans like Byron Donalds saying that, this only happens in a banana republic, that we would, arrest one of our own.
Well, guess what? You know what else is the only thing that would happen in a banana republic? That a bunch of fucking nitwits can show up at the Capitol and try to break in and overturn the government. That's what happens in a banana republic. This is what happens as a result of that. This is not the banana republic part.
Remember, co-chair is Laura Trump. This is the Republican National Committee just basically saying we put our full support behind this man who has just been convicted. Okay, and by the way, is facing more trials. This is just the first one.
He's actually facing 54 He has 54 pending criminal charges. And I would like to point out one other thing. The attorney for election integrity for the RNC was just indicted for election crimes. Right. Okay. Just indicted last week. Okay. So the election integrity person for the RNC has been indicted on criminal charges.
Now, this is the RNC chair, Michael Watley, basically saying that, weaponizing of the DOJ, this was a witch hunt, blah, blah, blah. Remember, this was a jury of his peers. And I'm sure that the jury selection was insane in this particular case.
Well, look at Donald Trump's attorneys were sitting right there. Donald Trump was sitting right there all during voir dire. They had their opportunity. They accepted these jurors. So now you know what they can do? They can shut the fuck up. That's what they can do.
So the first thing is, just make no mistake, the Republican Party is Trump. That's it. It's the Trump Party. And that's what it is.
That's all it is. You know what? I'm not even sure that they're interested in winning. I don't know what they're interested in. All they're interested in is giving Trump everything that they have.
You don't want Trump in, then you don't want these candidates in.
Right.
I saw an article. There was a Texas Republican who lost his primary. Oh, Trump's candidate. Wait a minute. I didn't know that Trump was a party. Trump is the party. Just so you know. Oh, by the way, I want to mention this too. Don't listen to Dean Phillips. And by the way, we're never going to endorse him again, but we're not going to run scared and not push for indictments because that might empower Trump's base. That's insane.
Dean Phillips is a bootlicker, okay? And he's not long for the Democratic Party. And you know what? That'd be fine with me, actually. So, the notion that Kathy Hochul should pardon him, is that what he said?
Yes. He was quote unquote begging her. Yeah, whatever. She's going to listen to you. She didn't listen to you when you were in.
Yeah, let's just put all kinds of everyday people in jail for the same exact fucking thing. But let's pardon Donald Trump. Get the fuck out of here, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Now, this was an editorial board article from the New York Times. I disagree with a lot of what they're doing lately, but this is completely on point.
Right. Every once in a while, they do something that's good.
Right. Trump's conquest of the Republican Party does matter. We have to get rid of every single one of these candidates because these candidates are how Trump is going to expand his legacy. You don't want Trump in. You don't want these candidates in. This was I asked that you guys take a look at this little clip. It's like a minute long clip. They're trying to say, that the goal of the Democratic Party is to keep Trump in jail during the RNC. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Look, let me just interject something here. The Democratic Party has nothing to do with what's going on in Manhattan. The judge set the hearing for Donald Trump's punishment for July 11th. Okay. Right. That's 38. I have all these statistics written down. That's 38 days from today, because people have to get recommendations from what the prosecution is going to ask for. They have to do some interviewing and thinking about what the appropriate penalty is for Donald Trump. But here's the way I look at things. Who benefited from this entire trial? It wasn't Michael fucking Cohen. It was Donald Trump. Donald Trump was the beneficiary by the way, engineer of everything that Michael Cohen did. Michael Cohen served a year in jail. Do you think that Donald Trump seriously shouldn't serve any time for this? Even 30 days is better than nothing. And I think the prosecution will ask for some jail time. And you know what I think? If they give him some jail time and then community service, I think he should have to go feed people in a migrant shelter. That's what I think his fucking community service ought to be.
I threw this article in. First off, we love Jennifer Rubin, but second off, this is kind of why we do what we do. Don't assume everybody's paying too much attention to the election. First off, we need to. People need to pay more attention to what's going on in the country. We do, but this is why we don't listen to the polls. That said, at the end of this, I will show you an interactive exercise that will show what the polls have been saying all along, and that if we have 70%, we're gonna wipe the floor. Okay, we're gonna really make some progress.
If you can get to 52%, you can get to 70%. Okay, right. 52%, the Republicans win. That's how we lost the House. I'm going to say it again.
This is another decent one, and that's Laura Trump. By the way, I don't care about Laura Trump, but there are Republicans who are getting disgusted by this whole thing. There are Republican people who are kind of on the fence. Those are the guys that are peeling away their support of Trump and will not vote for him now. Okay, that did vote for him last time, by the way. So now we're going to start with, you don't want Trump in, then you don't want the Republicans that are in either. We're going to start with Colorado, with the whole situation with Lauren Boebert. And this is bigger than Lauren Boebert, okay? I don't really agree with this headline, the Colorado primary and the extremism test for both parties. Now, the extremism test for the Republican Party, they're off the chain. They're off the chain in the Colorado 4th.
Well, I guess in some states, extremism can be defined as rights for everybody, I suppose. Right? Is that what our extreme level is, that we believe everybody has rights here? And we don't hate immigrants? Is that right? We want to teach that slavery was part of American history. Is that what our extreme is?
I checked this guy out, and he's on the left, but I know where he's coming from. It's a litmus test to see how batshit crazy Colorado will allow their Republican candidates to be. Basically, I initially, that article or that title, I was like, Adam Frisch, by no stretch of the imagination, can be considered extreme. So
no, you can't.
Yeah. But the point being that we have three, and he mentioned it. All of the House reps, they moved in one way or another, and we had Republicans resigning, retiring, moving from one district to another, and blah blah blah. No redistricting in Colorado. It's pretty much, it is what it is. The Republican districts are hardcore Republican, have been for many years. Same thing with the blue, but we can switch Colorado 3rd at the very least, and we have a shot at the Colorado 5th and a shot at the Colorado 4th, and we'll be able to get rid of Boebert, which that's fine.
But she's helping herself.
Don't consider Lauren Boebert. She's helping herself out, but the Republicans are not any better than Boebert.
Right.
They just might be a little quieter.
Right.
So here we go.
I say she left the 3rd for a reason.
She did, because she knew she was going to lose. She was going to lose in the primary.
Right.
It wasn't even that. There's an individual here, I believe that was going to primary her and win.
Yeah.
So there's Here is Adam Frisch. He almost defeated Lauren Boebert the first time.
500 votes. Okay.
And
all of you people who
is
stayed
base
home in Colorado.
538, I think, was the exact one.
Well, okay. And so for all of you people who stayed home in Colorado because he wasn't, quote, progressive enough, you ended up with Lauren Boebert.
Right.
So let me explain something to you. He supports a woman's rights to choose. Okay. He is supportive of the LGBTQ community. He passes the Democratic Party litmus test right now. Okay.
Now, this is the person running against, and he's the guy who is the assumed gubernatorial, or I'm sorry, Republican candidate for the Colorado 3rd, Jeff Hurd, and they expected him to beat Boebert in the primary, which is why she moved. I'm just going to read for a second. Jeff Hurd is a Colorado native, husband, father of 5, an attorney committed to serving his community and improving life in rural Colorado. Running for U.S. Congress because he believes Western and Southern Colorado deserve a sincere and hardworking representative focused on more on doing something than being someone. I don't know what the hell that means. Having grown up in Colorado's 3rd district, now raising his kids there, Jeff wants to deliver results that will help rural Colorado thrive. Jeff has built a successful law practice dedicated to rural Colorado. He works with and for critical service providers in the state, blah, blah, blah. This is about broadband and all that. Now, here's where I wanted to get to. In 2018, he co-authored a key legal brief on behalf of various rural government and stakeholders to support a constitutional amendment. He's a constitutional guy. Now, when you say Republican and constitutional scholar, that pretty much is all you need to say. All right. So, personally, I think that Frisch is going to win this, and we need to continue to support Adam Frisch. Now,
we need the seat. We have an opportunity to take the seat. We need to get the seat. No more sitting at home.
Hold on. Is this the 3rd? Is this the 3rd? Oh, this is okay. This is Colorado 4th. Okay. So we have Lauren Boebert, Deborah Flora, Richard Holtorf, Michael Lynch.
Nice hat.
Jerry Sonnenberg, Peter Yu. We've done these guys before. Take a look at them. Every single one of them is radical in one way or another. I'm not gonna like.
This is the district where during the first meeting they had, they were asked to raise their hand if they'd ever been arrested, and the majority of the candidates put their hand up. They're a bunch of they're a bunch of freaks. Okay, just saying.
Yeah. Just saying.
She may be the worst, but they were all bad. Okay.
I don't even know if she's the worst, to be honest with you. There were a couple guys. I think there were a couple guys there that were in the insurrection and the whole thing. Yeah. So,
she was there too. She's the one that told everybody where Nancy Pelosi was, just so we remember.
Colorado voters are reacting to Lauren Boebert's congressional district swap. They don't like it. They think she's being an opportunist. I tend to agree, but the people running against her are nutty in their own right.
Yep.
Here are the Democratic candidates, and I want to go back for a second. I just want to make sure I get the date right. So, when is the? Just want to know the primary. June 25th. Okay, so it's June 25th. So here is Tricia Calvarese. You can take her, check her out. All right. Let's see here. Every single Republican, or I'm sorry, every single Democrat in Colorado They're talking about ranchers and farmers. They're talking about conservation. They're talking about water safety, agriculture. That's huge in their. That's huge in their state. It's not just about Denver or Boulder. So that's Trisha Calvarese. Let's see here. Let me go endorsements. So you're going to have this pretty much with a lot of these guys. You have a local union, you have a mayor in there, state reps. Let's see, news. So there you go. So she's considered to be the top, but there are two others. This individual, Josh Pedora. And by the way, it's not just to beat Lauren Boebert. And then we have this guy, Ike McCorkle. Take a look at these candidates. Pick the person you want to win. Trish Calvarese seems to be the one that is probably going to win this primary. So next, you have the Colorado 5th, and you have two Democratic candidates looking to be the candidate. There is River Gasson, she is a scientist. And I mean, God help us that we actually have people looking at data in Colorado. But here's her website. Again, very typical for Colorado. Little surprised, climate. So she didn't separate it by agriculture, but senior care, healthcare, immigration, student debt, military, technology, LGBTQ plus, housing, climate, reproductive rights, education, democracy. And there's this individual here.
Not to be confused with Ronald.
He's not related to the Reagans. You could take a look at him. So now, that's okay. So now we move on to Florida. So let me see if I can find it. I think here we go. So I took a look at Florida, just at took a cursory look at it, and you do have a Republican majority in the House, but it's by five votes. If you flip some of these, we will then have the majority in in Congress in Florida. And if you take a look at this, most of these guys have not been in longer than 2017. You have a lot of new people, including Anna Paulina Luna.
We need to get rid of her.
Got in 2 years or like a year or so ago.
We need to get rid of her. She is a loon.
She took advantage of redistricting in that area, and I believe they redistricted a little bit more, or like redistricted it. So she is vulnerable already,
right,
before even keeping any of the other factors in. So let's take a look at this for 2 seconds. So we have Gates in the first, 2017, 2017, 2021, 2023, 2017, 2019, 2023. Bill Posey's been in forever. So we have Darren Soto, a Democrat, 2017. Maxwell Frost. We will do more on this state. We need him. The same thing with Jared Moskowitz. Okay. So
cast, and we need them all. We need to
yeah,
keep all the Democrats, and we need to flip some of the Republicans.
2023. And by the way, stop pounding on Debbie Wasserman Schultz too.
Yeah.
So that's how we lose some of these guys. I mean, one of these candidates beat Charlie Crist in the past. I think actually Anna Paulina Luna took Crist's old seat. So
You
let's
will remember that Crist was a Republican. He flipped to the Democratic Party.
right.
So
So was okay. Hold on. Oh, okay. So get that out of there. Why am I bringing up DeSantis? Because just like with people getting just sick and tired of hearing about Donald Trump, not everybody is, gung ho political like a lot of you guys watching us now. You guys are following all of this. Not everybody follows politics the way we do. They don't. But they are sick and tired of Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let's take it vet and Greg Abbott and all those guys. I mean, I'm focusing on the 3 states, which is why I brought those guys up. But yeah, Abbott too. But let's take advantage of the candidate fatigue and remember that DeSantis shoved his own map down people's throats in Florida.
right.
Which got us Anna Paulina Luna. Okay.
God.
Now
She's a scary person.
I did a search for there's a ton of candidates running against Anna Paulina Luna. So you take a look at their at their website. It looks like there was one. Let's see here. There was one that was considered the front runner. So I believe, yeah, it was is no, it wasn't Liz DeHaan. It was somebody else. Whitney Fox. Whitney Fox is considered the front runner right now. But take a look at all of them.
Right.
And again, this is coming up. This primary. Take a look at the candidates and put the strongest one in. This is democracy. This is what we're supposed to be doing. And if you don't do it now, don't expect it to be around forever. Especially the Republicans win. So it's a little something on Florida redistricting that you guys can take a look at. Just understand that this is a tool that the Republicans have used forever because they can't win on their own because their policies are highly unpopular.
That's right.
So the other person that I wanted to talk about real quick. Oh, yeah. I forgot about this. So going back to Colorado, these two candidates, this individual was accused of not only withholding delegate lists, which is against the rules, he also used campaign funds to skewer his candidates in the primary, which is a no-no. So, the hell of rules.
That's right. We won't punish them. We'll just let it slide.
Yeah.
Because we're Republicans.
And let's see. No.
Rule of law does not apply.
And I wanted to do, where is he? Is he Gates somewhere? Yeah, redistricting. That's him. Go away. Know about you. Oh, that's okay. That's Dave Williams of the Colorado House. Just so you know. And Jeff Crank of the Colorado House as well. You want to take a look at their websites, whatever.
Crank is a perfect name
Exactly.
for anyone getting endorsed by Donald Trump.
So,
Speaking of
all
cranks,
right. Oh no. Oh, this is okay. So this is one of the candidates running against her. Come on. Yeah. This is who's running
Matt Gates.
against Matt Gaetz. Gabe Alamont. And by the way, stop using the Florida DNC as an excuse as to why we're not winning Florida elections.
You didn't
We
vote.
know these vote.
You didn't
We know
vote
these
you
people are
didn't
running.
vote you didn't vote in 2022. The numbers from Florida Democrats is staggering. And you know what? You may not have been happy with the Florida DNC, but voting is your duty, regardless of whether you're happy with your party's management in your state or not. You can still go to the poll and vote. No one's preventing you from doing that. Okay.
Oh,
So
here,
let's stop, blaming,
yeah.
doing that, because that's what Republicans do. Okay. We need to own up and we need to change this in Florida. The people change this. Okay. The people.
This is who Ms. Valmont is. She's a mother. She's a gun violence prevention activist in Pensacola who's devoted her life to improving public safety. She earned a bachelor's degree in health and exercise science from Georgia Southern, her National Athletic Trainers Association accreditation, and her master's in education from Troy State University before pursuing her career in sports medicine in Atlanta. Then worked at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, then Emory Sports Medicine. And then she became a gun violence activist, and then moved to Florida at some point. And then once Parkland happened, that's when she really got involved. Her Both her husband and her son passed away due to medical issues. Wasn't like a tragedy or any of that. It was a medical tragedy. It wasn't like a drunk driving accident or anything like that. But
ALS. Her husband had
yeah,
ALS and her son had a brain cancer.
had terminal brain cancer. So healthcare is also huge for her. Okay, as well as gun violence. I would take a hard look at her.
Yeah, we like her.
Okay,
We like
this
her.
is issues,
She's running
typical.
against Matt Gaetz. What's not to like?
Right.
Seriously. I mean it. What's not to like? Can you find anything with him that you would possibly respect? Because I can't.
And to those of you say, well, I like my gun rights. Do you want to go to a nightclub, or do you want to go see someone sing and see them get shot right in front of you? Okay,
Gun
or
rights, but
remember the Pulse nightclub and all
let's
that
remember
stuff?
that. Let's remember how many people were killed at the Pulse nightclub.
Na, na, na. Okay. So next.
By the way, let me just say something too.
Yeah.
No one's talking about taking your gun rights away. What we're talking about is stuff like taking away assault weapons and semi-automatic weapons. You don't need those. We're not talking about taking your gun rights away. We're talking about having to register your weapons, having to have an expanded background check. If you have nothing to hide, then you don't have a problem with any of this. You're a criminal, you have a problem with it.
Yep.
But
right. I have never seen anyone say, hey, you know, they're taking away my constitutional right to drive drunk. Okay, basically the same thing. I understand, you know, the gun rights issue is in the Constitution, but that doesn't give carte blanche either.
Well, I'd like to say something about that too. The gun rights and the Constitution have nothing to do with individuals owning guns. Read the
No.
text. It was another gross misinterpretation of the Constitution by a conservative Supreme Court. That's exactly what it was. It talks about a well regulated militia. I don't consider the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers a well regulated militia. And I don't consider individuals carrying semi automatic and automatic weapons to be a well regulated militia. Okay. So let's not even argue the Second Amendment thing. Let's table that. What the point is that no one here is trying to take all of the guns off the table. We're trying to put in protections that protect innocent people. And if you have a problem with that, it's because you're a criminal and you can't withstand the background checks. Okay. And you know, I don't know what to tell you.
So understand, and by the way, this is not an excuse not to vote in Georgia. Before you even say anything, just understand that the only way these guys have a chance in hell is to try to work with redistricting and work with their current advantage with the numbers that they have in their state assemblies and all of that stuff to keep the voting districts redistricted in a way that favors them the most. That's the only way they're going to win. And they are trying to redistrict, by the way, trying to follow a court ruling saying that the redistricting of Georgia was illegal because it wasn't representing Black community. What the Republicans did was try to get rid of one of the more popular representatives. And in all honesty, what I say to that is, I understand as a primary, keep her in, because whatever the hell she's doing, that's Lucy McBride, by the way, whatever she's doing, it must be working because it's pissing the Republicans off. Just saying. So this is, oh, hold on. That's 2025. Right now, this is the current drawing up of the districts. And what we're talking about is right where you have 4, 5, 6, and 7, 13, 11. 14 is Green's district. So look at how it's been like messed with. Okay. Just take a look over time. They're playing with this to really try to squeeze as much juice as they can. And not for nothing, they took some of Marjorie Taylor Greene's district and put it in 11. We're going to be talking more about all this later. I'm going to be covering more about Georgia later. The big thing I want, Pat Sajak? The big thing I wanted, oh, that's a U.S. Republican rep, but Lucy McBath, okay, I think I said her name right. It's Lucy McBath. In a three-way race for the 6th congressional seat. She got bounced out of her seat before, won again. Now they're trying to hit her again by moving more candidates to try to get her out of this seat. We need to support Lucy McBath. We do.
Yep.
And this is coming up quick. So this is Lucy McBath's website. Okay. And she is currently a representative. You can take a look at what she's currently doing. And right here, this is Georgia's 14th. Okay. This is a hardcore stronghold for the Republican Party, which is why Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's very difficult to get rid of her. But here's what I will say. Number one, take a look at this gentleman. We've talked about him before, Sean Harris. Again, we have okay, so we have Clarence Blaylock and we have Sean Harris that got in. Okay, apparently, looks like.
Yeah.
Looks like kind of a ranked choice voting kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But so we have a runoff. Oh, okay. We have a runoff election between Blaylock and Harris. All right. Personally, I prefer Harris. Just looking at his platform and looking how he sees things. Take a look at his website. You can take a look at Mr. Blaylock's website too. I do care for his better. Finally, this is what we were talking about before, and I like this website a lot. You can play around with it. This right here is 2020. This is based on 2020 polling. So Biden is slated or like predicted to win right now with the low number turnout there is. If you take a look, there's a reason why the Republicans target women, they target African Americans, they target the Latino community, and they target Gen Z. Why? Because they have the biggest effect on the polls. I'm gonna pump these numbers up to 70%. All of them. See how it goes up just with the first one? Wait a minute. Sorry, it went down.
You're looking at the top line.
Yep. Look at that top line go up. Now that's just now let's go 68% for females. I think that the female vote is going to be crazy. Honestly. Under $30,000 income, 55%. Let's knock that up to 70. Let's see. And we have, yeah. Now that's not going to do it. Well, when you do the African American vote going up to 70, watch Texas flip. Might have to go to 71, but crap. Come here. You know, why don't you let me do it? Hold on. Okay. Come on. You see those two? You see Florida flipped with a Hispanic vote going to 70%?
Yep.
Texas just flipped.
So what we're saying is there's strength in numbers. 70% or bust, folks. That's what we're looking for. I mean, come on. You got to 52% and you saw what happened. We lost the House. We had a 9-seat lead. We cannot continue that.
If you're at 50%, if you're at 50% in these numbers, Trump will win. But I don't see it, especially given the climate. But look at this. You have Texas and you have Florida. If we have 70%, and the same goes for the House races, for the Senate races, for all these people talking about John Testa is on the ropes, New Hampshire, blah blah blah. New Hampshire's going to Trump, blah blah blah. If we energize the people who have been affected the most by this horrendous House majority the GOP House majority, and who were affected by Trump during his presidency, this is what you're going to see. Now, this is just a presidential election, but this is going, I hate the word trickle down, but you're going to see it. The Republican Party is Trump. Okay. Susan Collins, who said that she didn't want to support Trump, she's backing Trump. Nikki Haley backing Trump. Larry Hogan backing Trump. Chris Christie, who like skewered him, backing Trump. Okay. That's what we're talking about.
Because they don't have a choice, because they long ago ceded the party to him. They gave him the party in 2016. They handed it right to him.
And understand, I'm going to try to go do a deeper dive. I probably won't do Colorado again because I think I covered it well enough. But Georgia, I want to go after Byron Donalds. If we could get rid of him, that would be great too. Yeah. Tired of seeing his big head talking about how, the weaponization of the DOJ and blah, blah, blah. All right. But no matter who it is, no matter what face you see of the GOP, they're going to say the same thing. They've been given a directive to back Donald Trump.
That's right.
And when we come out in numbers, this is what's going to happen. We have to take advantage of this.
He will be eliminating anyone who isn't loyal to him. Goodbye. Okay, let me just say one other thing. I mentioned earlier the attorney that is the election integrity attorney that is just been charged. Right. There was another election integrity attorney that they hired. He got fired right away. Do you want to know why he got fired right away from the position? Because he would not commit to denying the 2024 election. Right. Do you understand that? People need to understand what's going on here, okay?
Now I'm putting these guys down to like 50%. Like, actually, that doesn't work. Hold on. Let me see. There we go. You see what starts to happen? Black vote down, Hispanic vote down. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No, I don't. But when the female vote down,
Trump wins. Come on, people. Let's get a clue here.
Which is, I mean, and you guys are the ones being affected the most. Females, Hispanics. Tell me that Hispanics aren't being affected with all the garbage, child labor laws and all of the things coming out in Texas and Florida. So
are being affected across the board.
Yep.
All right, gang.
So next, I think I'm going to focus on New York, and I want to send this message out to everyone: stop purity testing. Whoever wins the primary, let's stop worrying about he's too moderate. No. We don't have time for that. We don't have time for that.
Helping us lose the House, so let's cut it out. Really,
we lost the House because of New York and because of some of the stuff going on in California,
in Colorado.
Okay, and Colorado, and with Lauren Boebert in Colorado. And yes, we did. We lost a couple of seats in Florida too that we could have won. Yep. So let's stop the nonsense. Oh, one more thing. I did want to mention this. Lucy McBath is considering a run for governor when the Georgia governor race is there. So I want to keep her in office because she's effective. But also keep in mind she is looking to move anyway, not because she's being attacked, but the reason she's being attacked is because she's effective.
Right.
I noticed that, and I was like, oh man, she must really be upsetting them. So we need to keep her in.
Yep.
Just saying. So that's what we have for right now. We're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna keep going on. I will try to do also
New Jersey.
kind of look at every state to see which states
We should do
like
New Jersey too, because the latest propaganda out of the Trump camp is that he's going to take New York and New Jersey. And Kathy Hochul was pretty much on television laughing at him last night.
nothing. I don't see it. There's no way in
No,
hell he's going to take.
no, she actually said that on national TV. So
Yeah, there's no way he's going to. I don't know about Jersey, but there's no way in hell he's going to take New York. No way.
yep.
You know. Anyway,
All right,
see you guys. See you guys
next week.
next week.